underneath of him, like a second model, and the one model has axes on his belt, and the other one has the horn in the pocket.
Hmm.
This is my this is my Taurus.
Thump. Heavy footfalls as the half-giant stomps about. Yeah, now that it's got Hero Forge support, Tailspire is a vast improvement over Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm ready to use this. We could probably spend I honestly wouldn't even mind spending our day just trying to play with this right here.
Everybody getting used to the controls and getting more comfortable with it.
Just modifying the fort a little bit, maybe. Just trying to
Yeah,
make sure everyone's.
you're welcome to customize. It is your fort. Do to it what you want. Just make sure you spend the appropriate coin for any labor.
That'd be pretty cool. But I can just play with my Hero Forge stuff. Huh? Oh, I got 25 credits. Heyo.
Yeah, you get to make even more cool stuff.
I want to make some of those elven archers and elven people on the walls and stuff.
I don't know, like, we have a lot of those elven archers, and the Hero Forge defaults are quite a bit lighter on resources. So, like, if you look at these guys, they are decent elven archer looking guys. Let me get rid of the ceiling here so I can take a look. So, like,
I can't see it.
where do we have one? Up here on the walls, on this side, there's one elf. He's right here. So I think this is a perfectly good elf for your default guardsman. He looks fine, and his poly count.
This guy over here.
This guy right here. Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy.
That's kind of the bad thing. I don't see your what you call it.
Yeah, maybe there's
I don't see your hand.
maybe there's a ping option somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, if I click on your portrait, I can see where you're looking at.
Oh, right. That's cool.
That is actually really cool. Okay,
Right, that
so
helps.
that actually helps out.
So,
I'm trying to figure out how to bring these layers down so I can open up the fort.
all right. So you got to use the white and the green buttons on the bar on the right. And you want them both, like, put them both at the same level, and you'll see things start to clip, like where you're at. And then you might want to, like, use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out a little bit. You need to be zoomed in a bit for it to start clipping walls. And then just start, like, lowering the green until it clips away just the roofs. And then you'll be able to move around and look down into every room.
Okay, I see it. I see the guardhouse now. Because we don't need to have this thing loaded up with a ton of poly accounts, right? Matter of fact, I want to see how my game looks. How's my game performing?
My computer's doing all right. This map isn't real, like, intense yet. There are much bigger maps than this.
My GPU is only sitting at 50% right now.
Let me look at my utilization. GPU, 41%.
My memory is only sitting at 25%.
My memory is at 88%. But I'm also streaming, so yeah, that's a factor.
Oh yeah, I like that. I'm I'm just trying to see if there's any bottleneck at all in this game for me right now. Like I'm clipping through walls like completely and just letting stuff open up and pretty zoomed in. CPU and memory are just sitting there at the same. My GPU is only jumping up maybe like 10%. Oh, 70%. Somewhere between 50 and 70 when I'm like a bunch of stuff is happening. We just need to get you a new computer, man.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, we can make this happen.
Yeah, someone told me Jodab's rich, so.
I heard Professor works as a contractor.
Dude, I wish. Fucking contractors are incompetent, man. They rake in the money. So maybe they're not incompetent. They know better than me. Shit.
They know exactly what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Wait, aren't you a contractor?
No, I'm not a contractor. I'm
Are you a-
salaried.
Oh, you're a govy?
Yeah, I'm not GS. I'm NF. I'm not appropriated funds.
Oh.
I'm trying to get a GS position because I'm an NF. I get fucked, man.
I'm a contractor.
Exactly. Explains everything.
It does
I was-
explain a lot.
I was projecting onto you, but I guess that is the thing.
Yeah, no,
excellent.
man. Like, I deal with these contractors all the time. I feel like I'm more knowledgeable, but they have the bigger paycheck, and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Do you guys use ServiceNow?
What is
Yeah.
that?
Okay.
It's an
Based on
app
like
for
government
tracking
stuff.
work orders.
It's a ticket program slash IT management slash workload management and
Yeah, it has all
project
our
management.
yeah, it has all our troubleshooting articles and our
Knowledge
AP
base.
maps, and it's got everything in it. But mainly
So-
it uses day to day for work orders.
So I manage that. I'm the end all be all for my company for that.
So yeah, they hiring. I know about ServiceNow.
No, actually, if you can actually do ServiceNow stuff like build dashboards, build reports, they are literally needing people right now.
Dude, I only recently learned how many people use ServiceNow and have started putting ServiceNow experience on my resume because I was like, I didn't realize how many people use
Dude,
ServiceNow.
So we had a meeting with ServiceNow, so we actually speak with the vendor, and they were like, well, you guys are kind of unique because you're an on-prem environment, and most of our users are cloud-based, but there's only a small percentage of our users who are on-prem, and they don't intend to move. They have no intentions of moving to our cloud like you guys. And I'm like, well, can you give us some examples so we can possibly contact them? And they're like, well, not necessarily. And they're like, I'm like, well, give us an example. Who's someone with a big database, kind of like ours? Oh, yours is small. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's huge. It's like 500 gig database. And they're like, well, Disney has like a 3 terabyte database on one of their databases. I'm like, huh? You said Disney? They're like, yeah, they have multiple instances for all their departments and stuff. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Dude, I had an IT meeting, and they were talking about how company executives for my company had a meeting with Oracle because our contract with them was up, and we were renewing the contract, and they tried to negotiate a lower bill because we felt like we were overpaying for our Oracle agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what Oracle said? I had to stop myself from fucking laughing when these people were talking about our budget for IT for the next year. They tried to negotiate a lower bill for Oracle and actually muscled and said, we're going to have to drop you if you don't reduce the bill. And Oracle came back and said, good luck finding anyone else. We're raising how much it costs.
Huh?
Me sometimes.
It's like,
And they have all their data.
and yeah, in the meeting they're like, and they're right. We have no other options other than Oracle for these applications.
Nice monopoly.
Fucking idiots, man.
Like, yeah, it was like, why did you try negotiating? Like, apparently we've been renewing our contract with them for like a long time. Oracle has never tried to raise the rate. You know, we decided to try and negotiate lower rate, and they're like, no, we're gonna raise it instead. That's what happens when you ask for lower.
Ouch.
I'll do it.
Absolute savages.
I guess they didn't like feeling threatened. I think is what it is. Like, oh, you're gonna threaten us to go to someone else? Who else
Well-
supplies these solutions?
Well, that's a big thing, man. And Oracle's kind of a dying dinosaur.
We use so many, like, we use Oracle for so much, and it's like, yeah, and integrating, yeah, we can't change. Like,
Well, you can. So that's what ServiceNow recommends is Oracle. If you want a paid thing, use Oracle with like the full support model and stuff. And their other option is Maria Database, which is what we do use. But MariaDB is only offering a free version. But now they just started recently offering an enterprise edition with like all the paid features and stuff and support. So it's kind of new, but it's not fleshed out, I guess you could say. So they do have an option. It's called Maria Database, but you have to convert a lot of your databases over. Like all your data would have to be migrated.
yeah, and you know, when we do something like that, you know what they do? They hire contractors to do that shit, overpay them. They don't finish within their time period.
Yep. That's what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I'm pretty fed up with contractors, but
Yeah.
no, not all contractors are bad. We're converting over to the GDT Cisco phones, and the GDT contractors are pretty good. I've been dealing with them. They're knowledgeable.
GDIT,
No, GDT.
General Dynamics.
I don't even know what that GDT stands for. But
We
It's
we
just
use
GDT.
Cisco phones with my job.
I work
Yeah,
for
GDT contractors are helping us implement the
They're
Cisco
awful.
phones.
I work for General Dynamics. They're,
Like, their website is gdt.com. It's GDT IT Solutions. I'm trying to figure out what GDT stands for, but
Good damn tech.
never heard of it.
yeah, no. I also dealt with GDT for our network refresh. We replaced a shit.
General Data Tech. Wow.
Yeah, like I said, I've been dealing with GDT for our Cisco phones. They're fine. The guy's dealing with the phones, the IP phones. But I also dealt with GDT for our network refresh. They sent some guys out to help with installing we replaced all our switches with new models, all of our APs. It was just a huge network refresh, and they didn't want it all. That they didn't think the techs could handle it all on their own, so they hired out these GDT contractors, which I felt like I was babysitting, and I complained. I was like, these guys have slowed me down more than sped me up. These GDT, because they aren't actually GDT contractors. GDT subcontracted out to a guy who subcontracted out to another guy. It got subcontracted twice. Like, because I talked to the dude. I'm like, these dudes are like, oh, I'm just here to learn. I'm like, what do you mean you're here to learn? Like, what? He's like, yeah, this guy subcontracted to us. And then I did more research, found out that guy was subcontracted by GDT. Like, so we hired GDT to do this. They subcontracted out to a local regional guy who subcontracted out again to just some text they found on a website. Like,
On the job learning experience.
yeah, but they didn't know shit. Like, and they mounted 2 of my switches backwards and plugged everything in, air disabled all my ports. Like, I had one cabinet with switch 6 and 7 in it, and they mounted 7 and 6 backwards, plugged everything into it. They didn't come and tell me. So when all the ports got air disabled, and they figured out, oops, I put these switches in backwards, they tried to just swap them back, but they didn't understand that ports air disable. And they were like, because they're talking to my headquarters on the phone, and they're saying, hey, no, these ports are still not communicating. And he's like, how about now? How about now? Isn't telling the person on the phone either what's going on. He just like is trying to fix his mistake, not realizing, no, the ports are air disabled now, and it's got to be cleared by me or the guy on the phone. You got to tell them it's happened. And then he's like, and then on top of that, like all my cables before they came, I labeled all my cables because I was prepared for mistakes, right? I labeled all my cables with what plug they go into. Well, when they swapped the switches 6 and 7, 6 was now lower because they put 7 on top and 6 on bottom. The cables wouldn't reach, so they were trying to swap them. Like, so they ended up completely removing my patch cables because they were trying to grab the longer ones to reach the other switch. So now the labels on the cables are all wrong. I was there. I was like, these people. I felt like I was babysitting. Like, I was like, man,
That sounds pretty awful. Not gonna lie.
yeah. No, it was a terrible night. I was there all night long.
What was that?
I had to trace out all these lines and figure out what every cable went to.
Physical shit is very demanding.
Yeah, and it's these same guys.
So tedious.
These same guys. I was trying when we first started working. The very first switch we swapped out. I'm trying to remember exactly how it happened, but basically they said because I was telling them, you have to make sure you plug the cables into the same port it comes out of. You know, when we swapped like, okay, the one in port 4 has to go port, and they're like, it's just a switch. It doesn't matter. It's just a switch. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's not just a switch. It's a 3-layer switch. It has port security. Like, you can't just plug any cable into any cable. Like,
well, they expected you probably to config everything after the fact.
No, we do, but no. Okay, so
no, but you probably did a config before you switched it out. You staged the config.
Yeah, we pulled the config from the old switch. So we swapped switches and we just put it back.
Yeah.
Right?
And they were like, fuck it. They're going to redo it all from scratch.
Yeah, that's not easy.
I know. Because they think it's easy.
No, but they just didn't understand the concept of a layer 3 switch at all. Like, no, because at one point they were like, it's just a switch.
Like 5Ks?
Like, they were hired to swap in the.
I'm saying, what kind of switches were they? 5Ks? 7Ks?
I don't know the model. I'm not completely knowledgeable with everything, but I mean, I know that our switches are layer 3 switches, and they have, because they're trying to sit there and tell me, like, there's no security on the switch. It's just a switch. All your security is on the router. I'm like, no, not all my security is on the router. These are layer 3 switches. They have built-in configuration.
Cisco ones?
Yeah, they're Cisco's.
Yeah, so they're probably 5Ks, 7Ks maybe.
5K sounds right.
Yeah, so they got 2Ks, 5Ks, 7Ks. But yeah, if they're 5Ks, yeah, they're fully, they do everything. 7Ks, run a data center, but 5Ks will run an entire rack.
Yeah, these same guys, like I said, these contractors were hired to swap out access points too, right? And they come in and they're like, because our ceilings are high, like, and we rented scissor lifts for them. Not scissor lifts. Scissor lifts. We rented scissor lifts for them. It turns out these 2 contractors who came out are scared of heights and have never used a scissor lift in their life. Like, we
need a license.
Yeah, like, no, we were scheduled to be out for this one site. This one site had 45 access points, and they were like, how long is this one supposed to take? And I'm like, well, we're scheduled to be out of here at 1. Like, it says, but it's been taking longer at certain sites. And he's like, no, not 1. We'll be out here by 11. And I'm like, okay, yeah, great. If we can get out here by 11, that'd be fantastic. Like, so
Power to you, buddy.
yeah, like, I'd love that. Like, if we can get out here by 11, I'm all for it. And he's like, yeah, so let's get going. And we get there, and like, we get to the first access point, and they don't want me going up. My company doesn't want me going up. They hire these contractors specifically because they don't want me going up on the scissor lift and swapping out APs, because if I get injured, they have to pay me because I have insurance.
Right.
The company. So they're like, no, let the contractors do everything on the scissor lift. They don't want me going up to the ceiling. And I'm like, I could do it. Like, I actually ended up doing it a couple times. But, we get to the first AP and the contractor goes up and they come back down. They go up, they come back down. It's like, I think I just realized I'm scared of heights. I've never been on a scissor lift in my life. And then they get up there and then they reach above their head to take the AP off. and the scissor lift wobbles. Like, this thing's got to tilt. And I'm like, no, it has a giant magnet in it. Like, I've used a scissor lift when I worked in a stockroom in a warehouse. So like, I mean, I'm not scared of a scissor lift. But yeah, no, they went up and down, up and down, up and down so many times at the first access point. I'm like, dude, okay, we've been on this access point now for 20 minutes. We are not, like, if you want to be out here by 11, we have 45 APs. We've got this long per AP. We can't spend 40 minutes on one AP. You know?
Some people just don't get it.
I'm like, I'm doing the
One
math.
scissor lift takes just longer, no matter what.
You want to be out by 11. This is how long. I was like, you have this many minutes per AP. I just kept telling them that. You want to be out by 11. Let's go. You got this many minutes. Meanwhile, I'm doing I'm writing down the MAC addresses and locations so I can put that in.
Just in.
Yeah, in. I don't feel the need to explain everything I had to do, but I mean, like, I'm sitting there with a clipboard writing down the MAC address on the AP, the location we're installing it, and handing it to them. It's just, yeah, no. I've had a lot of bad experiences with contractors. Even though I wouldn't even call those guys contractors. Like I said, they were, and I complained up to my headquarters. I was like, GDT did not come out. GDT hired a local contractor who got overwhelmed and started hiring out subcontracts to any Joe Schmo who said he could use a screwdriver.
Are you still watching the stream that I've been doing?
Yeah, I've been watching.
Can you believe the detail of this town?
It's pretty insane.
All right, so the keep, the buildings, multi-story buildings, full of NPCs. You go deeper, there's the sewers. You can go through any of the sewer openings that are visible on the surface, like this one in the center here. So you can actually go into the sewers right through that. You see how it just disappears, and there you are on that ladder right there? And I'm sure you can scope out that there are several floors below this one. Quite a few floors below this one, and I might peek a pile of treasure down there somewhere.
You have to hold the camera still for like 6 seconds before I can see anything.
Shit.
No, yeah.
The level of complexity, though, is crazy. It's like 8 floors deep.
Yeah, it looks pretty crazy.
There's definitely some interesting things hiding underneath the keep. What could that be? It looks kind of magical. There's fountains and stuff. Who would guess that so much lurks beneath the surface? It's pretty cool. There's like a thief trying to break into it, and he's trying to make his way through an area that's full of traps, and it's all set up like you can see he's gotten through several doors and a couple of traps. It's like, how are you going to get in here? Some people have already been trying. I spent at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half, trying to figure out how to get to the bottom of this map, and I couldn't do it. I got pretty close. I think maybe the last floor requires teleportation.
Hello? Can
Hello.
you hear me? Hey, Ninja.
I was muted. What's up?
I can't, once I go to this My Fortress map, I can't leave it.
In Tailspire?
Yep. You should.
I think you need permissions to get into certain maps. Like, I invited you into the Kyle Keep map, so you have access to that one. And then I guess the one you were talking about is one of your own creation?
No, My Fortress.
Try to go back to Kyle Keep, because I know you were invited to
can't.
that one.
I can't go to any of them. I can't. I don't have the options on the left anymore.
It could be because I closed the
Change.
game. Maybe that has some effect on it.
Mm.
Professor wasn't jumping in to proclaim, yeah, I'm downloading Tailspire right now, so I think we should probably switch over to Tabletop.
Sorry, I'm having a coughing fit right now, but
Ooh, well, don't do that.
Don't die on us.
Deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out.
Well,
Deep, refreshing breaths.
so what have you guys done today?
Okay, I'm back at Cow's Keep.
Nada. I work.
So yeah, when you
Nada,
left
nada.
the game, I guess I lost the ability to switch to different boards.
Bummer. That's lame.
What was it? I worked on my motorcycle all day.
what kind of motorcycle you have?
I got an Africa Twin.
Man, I wouldn't mind some twins from Africa.
I touched the red down in Africa.
God bless the rains down and out.
That is a nice looking bike. I have never
You're right.
seen that before.
Is it red, white, and blue like the one in the picture I'm looking at?
Yeah,
That's the old classic rally Dakar coloring. Mine is black and gold.
Black and
Is
gold.
it black and yellow?
This one.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
All right, not bad, not bad. Looks
You know
fun.
where I was going with it.
It's a big bike.
Small wheels.
You know what it
Oh, yeah.
is. Everything I do it
The one-
be.
the front
dude,
wheel-
this
The front wheel is 21 inch.
this looks like a dirt bike and a street bike like had a baby.
Yeah, it's an adventure sport.
It's honestly pretty cool.
It is.
I can do gravel. I can do all that shit, and I can do touring as well.
Because I always thought dirt bikes are cool, but like I don't think they look cool. So this one actually looks cool.
Yeah, that falls in the adventure sport category. So you get the like BMW GS. Those are like another one of that category. It's like a 1100 cc on my motorcycle. And the thing
This is
like,
so cool.
it's almost like 600 pounds.
Hey, that thing weighs 600 pounds.
But can you bench press it? That's the question.
It does not look like a 600-pound bike.
No, it's heavy. It's really heavy. The tank is big. I can do almost 400 kilometers, or what is that in miles?
Yeah, I really like the Honda Shadow, but I got on that thing and it weighs 550 pounds. And I was like, man, this is too heavy for me. I'm like a small dude, so.
Well,
Really?
And this is different too.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm a small dude. I can't handle a 550-pound bike.
Dude.
like a cruiser, it's all low, heavy. The center of gravity is different. These ones, they're pretty tall, and the gravity, like the weight is high as well. So it can be a little difficult if you're a little small.
Yeah, I'm
No.
5'8", 145 pounds. Like,
I'm 6'4", so I'm pretty comfortable over like on a
Yeah,
like
and I
car.
don't think I think I was 138 pounds when I went and got on this Honda Shadow.
Yeah,
I've put on some weight,
but
but yeah, no,
the
I
only
thought they
thing.
looked really cool, and I went to go get them. Like I was like, I almost bought one. Like I went and I was like, I sat on it, and I was like, nah, this thing's a lot heavier than it looks. It
For
was-
like a sport bike, those are pretty good models for anyone really. But if you like the cruiser, they're all heavy though.
But my dad rides a street glide, the Harley Street Glide.
Hmm.
And he